meeting, and our chair, Director LeBlanc, couldn't be here this evening and asked if I could take over. So as far as I know, we are good to go. So if you want to tell us where you want to start.
Perfect. A few housekeeping items before we jump into policies. It's my understanding there is an executive session at 6:30 this evening. So kind of working backwards. Is it okay if we plan to end about 6:20? That way it gives the members of the board here with us this evening a chance to catch their breath. And about 6:15, 6:16-ish, we'd like to talk about our May and June meetings and provide the committee with some updates from PSBA and how that impacts us meeting in May and June, just to kind of have a discussion as to see what the wishes of the committee would be. Fair enough?
Okay.
So we'll plan to go as diligently as we possibly can until about 6:15, and then we'll break if it's okay to talk about the May and June meetings and figure out what we want to do in the face of some changes at PSBA, and then we'll give you some time to kind of catch your breath before your next meeting.
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
All right, so we have a number of policies that we're going to bring to you tonight. Some of them you've seen before. You've given us direction, Dina and I, Dr. O'Connell, some direction to go back and get you a little bit more information and then bring it back to you. So we're going to start tonight with policy 105.2, exemption from instruction. If my memory serves me correctly, the policy's in pretty good shape, but there was a question from Director Hollowell at the time. What about students 18 and over who are here until 21 or 22? And so we did go back to, actually Lou went back to our solicitor and was provided with the following information, which if I can read it to you, it's only a couple sentences. I think that would be best. The applicable federal statute cited as footnote 1 uses the exact language regarding transfer of rights, but only for specific activities. You can leave that extra language out of your local policy, but understand that if an 18-year-old student elected to examine and opt out of certain activities listed below, they would have to be allowed to do so. Also, nobody's allowed to exempt themselves or their student from an entire required course, only specific topic portions of a given course. So what this says to me is that if we put it there or not, that a student 18 or older without the consent of the parent may opt out of certain topics in a course. I would recommend that we leave it in there just to be really clear as to what it is, but it's your call as the committee here.
Okay, well, I believe that was where we started with this policy, so there's actually some things that I would like to bring up regarding this particular policy and some wording. So in that first paragraph, actually it's the second paragraph. So the second paragraph says, the rights granted by this policy are granted to parents. I don't know that I see us as having any authority, in a sense, to grant someone rights. They already have those rights. So I think it would be more logical to say, starting in the first paragraph, the board adopts this policy to ensure that parents/guardians of students enrolled in this district when the students are under age 18, or to the students themselves when they are 18, have the right to have their children excused from specific instruction, blah, blah, blah. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
So you want to take like almost the second half of the second paragraph and put it up
And
in
interject it up there, yes. I'm just not feeling like we have a place to say the rights granted by this policy, in a sense. I don't know. I'm just, I think it would make more sense to just add that up there.
So the first paragraph would continue, leaving the first paragraph as is, and then it would continue.
No. So you see the second paragraph that
Yeah.
says the rights granted by this policy are granted to parents and
Right.
guardians. Okay. I'm suggesting that we cross that out.
Cross what out? The rights granted by this
Yep.
policy?
Yep.
Okay, so we cross that out.
Are granted to parents, guardians. Cut that all out, up
Okay.
to the word of,
Oh, okay.
okay? And then take what's left and put that up into the first sentence, first paragraph sentence. The board adopts this policy to ensure that parents, guardians of students enrolled in this district, when students are under the age of 18, and to the students themselves, when the student is 18, have the right to have their children excused.
I don't have any issue with that. I just think probably may have to write it for Dina, maybe. You got it? Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I have no issue. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, all right, so that's that one. Okay, and then it appears to me, Dean, if you'll scroll that up so Betsy can see. Oh, you have, oh, okay, that's right, she slid that right across the table to you, I remember now. So it appears that we're supposed to be checking or not checking that second green part there that says the
Correct.
superintendent?
Yeah,
Okay,
we may check that or may not, depending upon what the wishes are.
okay. So my recommendation would be that we check that. And when I say that, then can someone tell me currently how we do this?
Yeah, what was there before? Was there no delegation of responsibility
Um,
in the policy?
If you look, the superintendent designee shall notify parents, guardians of this policy at least annually at the beginning of the school year with a reasonable time after any substantive changes regarding the contents of this policy. Let me triple check it. My sense is that it probably is something similar to that statement. But let me go into current policy 105.2.
Well, if it's not on here, Rich, it's not in the
Yeah,
policy.
but that's kind of where the practice
Yeah.
is. That's where the practice is. There you go. You have,
So it's within the guidelines? Is that what you're crossing out? It shall not be the responsibility of the district or any of its employees to ensure that the student exercises his or her right to be excused in accordance with the parent request.
So, but the second one there is specifically drawing attention to the religious and or moral beliefs. So there was a court case that came through,
Which one is that, Linda?
the green.
Oh, the second.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Dina, PSBA was recommending that additional wording. And does it indicate the court case that was tied to that?
Is it in the footnotes?
Sure, Rich, do you have that in?
hold on a second, one second.
It might be in the footnotes. It does refer to policies 102 and 217.
I think the one thing it notes
Yeah, it doesn't have
is
any-
some reference to discipline.
there's nothing about a court case in the summary that the PSBA.
From that PSBA sent over?
Yeah,
So, my understanding is that that particular paragraph was added because it specifically spells out the religious and or moral beliefs. So,
So you just want to check it?
I do,
Okay.
that's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
recommending,
fine.
so
Fine,
if,
we can check it,
if you two,
checked.
Karen and Corey, you're good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll check that one, all right. So then, the number 1, they have the addition at the end of that number 1, to assist the school district in ensuring the student is excused, right, from the correct specific instruction. The request must be made in writing and must detail the specific instructions that the student is to be excused, including the reasons for the request. But then if you look down on number 4, the written request must contain a statement, right, that the specific instruction described conflicts with their, so to me, that's redundant. I don't know that we need to add that phrase in the first one if we're spelling it out specifically in number 4. Unless you feel like the emphasis is better so that they understand, but it's already stated there in number 4.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Which one do you want to get rid of?
Strike
Because
Right, or I would
you want
say
to get rid
strike
of
the
4 or
phrase,
2?
or 1.
I would strike the additional phrase at
Phrase
the
in
end of 1.
At the end of 1.
At the end of one,
Over
Yep.
At the end of 1.
Including the reasons for the request?
Right, because then number 4 says your
Says that
request
that's
has to
it,
contain a
yeah.
statement.
I like that because somebody could read number 1 and say, well, I just don't want to have to learn that.
Right.
And that would be in conflict then potentially with 4, that specifically ties it to religious and moral
Right.
beliefs.
Mhm.
So is it just striking including the reasons for the request? At the,
At number 1. Yeah,
that
but that's in
phrase,
the
I think
green.
so,
Like
yeah.
they added in the green, and we're just saying, we don't need to add the green, it's already in number 4. So just remove the green.
Now, wait, when you were talking about what Jim Hallowell wanted on number 2, are we changing that then, or,
No, we're leaving,
because it does say, shall be sent by the parent, guardian, or the student
Who is
who is 18 years old or older, so we're leaving that the way it is.
yes, that's what I understand that legally we have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that,
No,
thank you.
Yeah, I think you just tell me, yeah,
Okay, now along with that, okay, again, I kind of go back to how do we do this now? Like, if a parent is going to give a reason, right, and we're including this to also hold to the religious and moral beliefs, is it sufficient to just state that it just conflicts with their, like, that phrasing is sufficient?
it is sufficient.
Right, so we're not asking for anything detailed anywhere, okay. All right.
But that last paragraph, the district must notify students and parents, guardians of their right. Do you send something out, or is that in the manual?
So we need to share that this policy exists, so
Yeah.
parents are aware of that. It
And
may
that's
be
new, right? Is that new?
sharing this particular policy.
Like sharing have we had that as, I guess that's my question. Have we had that as a procedure where every year there's,
So we have a list of procedures
Yeah.
or
Okay.
policies that I need to look specifically if this 501.2
Okay.
is, but I know that there's.
there's a whole list of them. I know we put some of those yearly notifications in our
Some, I
calendars.
was just
Oh, got
looking
it,
for a
okay.
Some of
calendar.
them go in our handbook, and we have a
Okay.
whole list of them that Dr. O'Connell keeps.
Yeah.
okay.
And as we change policies here, we make sure that that changes as necessary.
Follows
Okay.
it, got it
Yeah,
up there,
yeah.
okay. So,
And I know
Because there's not a
handbook, and
calendar
we have some of it going to calendar, some of it going to handbook, and something that's really, that students really need to know, like on a daily basis, I'll do a class meeting. When I do back to school meeting with kids.
And I would share too, there are some topics